I'm firing my laser!
Is a futuristic real-time strategy developed and published by Electronic Arts. It features 3 distinct factions to play over a lengthy story-based campaign and tells the story of the third war between GDI and Nod over the invasive alien material Tiberium. Only this time the extraterrestrial keepers of Tiberium become involved in the war.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
It's got gorgeous graphics that still hold up over a decade later. The storyline, although cheesy at times, is actually really compelling, especially with the top-notch full-motion cutscenes featuring well-known actors like Michael Ironside and Billy D. Williams. The gameplay is balanced, enjoyable, and distinctive for all 3 factions. The story campaign has a good amount of variety and never really gets boring or tedious. And the game has a sizable expansion pack in the form of Kane's Wrath that adds 6 sub-factions, new gameplay additions, and a whole additional story campaign. Some changes from previous games and removal of aspects such as the Forgotten remove some of the depth and uniqueness from the game world. The addition of the screen gives the game somewhat of a generic alien invasion vibe, and there are no naval capabilities in any way, shape or form. A lot of people I speak to claim Command & Conquer Tiberium's Sun to be the best in the series, and whilst Tiberium Wars was my first foray into the CNC franchise, so I may be a little biased, I tend to disagree. I will say that Tiberium Sun has a whole lot of unique world building aspects, from the 4-legged mammoth tanks to the marauding faction of mutants for Forgotten. CNC 3 just feels like a much more comprehensive, polished and more responsive title. While the full-motion cinematics in previous games felt like a beloved B-movie, those in this game feel like a full-blown blockbuster, no matter how much Billy D. Williams hams up the place, in the most enjoyable way of course. In all, this game has a massive tonal difference from past entries, and feels like it caters much more to a mass market, and that's likely the case given the acquisition and dissolution of Westwood Studios by EA. I feel that if Westwood had made this game with the funding and guidance of EA, but retained the classic feel of the series, Command & Conquer 3 would have been an absolute masterpiece. And I guess it can actually be experienced in some way in some stunningly made fan mods such as The Forgotten and Tiberium Sun Rising. Regardless, this is a time before EA insisted on driving its properties into the ground, and we still managed to get a fantastically well-rounded and enjoyable experience, only bolstered by its sizable expansion pack. CNC4 though? Now that's an entirely different story.